You're watching KRON On, streaming now from KRON 4, the Bay Area's local news station.
Look, I got the north, got the east, got the west with me.
All right, well, if you know Bay Area Beats, that is a classic hit by none other than local legend Mistah FAB. He's been collaborating with homegrown celebrities like repping the Bay Area all his life, other artists like himself, and now he's doing it again, but this time to give back with more than just a gift of song. Joining me now is Mistah FAB himself. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us about your upcoming event. And before we talk about Toys for Joy, Mistah FAB, let's get to know you a little bit better. I've heard your music. You clearly have a lot of love for the Bay, and we've seen a lot of people come and go. You stayed here, you opened a business. What makes you want to rep your hometown to this day and create more opportunities here and continue to spread the joy in Oakland?
Well, it's nothing like, what an amazing introduction. So first of all, thank you for that. But it's nothing like hometown, man. It's nothing like Oakland. I've been around the world. I've had a chance to go to many places, different countries, different cities and things of that nature, but it's nothing like being home, and it's nothing like being embraced at home. You know, rarely do you see a lot of individuals, especially artists, have a chance to smell their roses while they're while they're still alive. And I've definitely had that chance. The reception that we get in the city of Oakland is amazing. It's benevolent, and I want to be able to change the narrative. Many people come from inner city communities and poverty-stricken communities, and the first thing in their mind is to get out. But in the midst of combating gentrification, we must combat that with reintrification, which is coming back into the same communities and opening up businesses and taking a chance and opening up employment and none of those things, to show kids that the narrative isn't to get out, but to improve the village. Why live the village that gave you everything that you are? Why not make it better?
Yeah, that's an incredible thing to say. I mean, as you mentioned, and a lot of people have been leaving the Bay Area for more than reasons than one, unfortunately, but you, again, have opened a business, you're creating job opportunities, but you also have this upcoming charity event. I know you do a lot of them. This one called Toys for Joy. It's a Christmas drive coming up this Thursday from noon to 6 at night. It's over at 4503 Market Street in Oakland. So is this the collection part of the charity event, or is this the giveaway where people actually come and collect?
This is the giveaway. We've been doing it for 17 years, close to 2 decades. Being able to stand on the front line and not to be stern or anything like that, but when we have to always emphasize businesses. We have multiple businesses in the city of Oakland, California, from clothing stores to nightclub to nail shops to restaurants. I'm involved with several businesses. And as a collection of the village, this is something that we've been doing for, like I say, close to 2 decades. It's just giving back on the front line. Everything is free. Everything is, there's no, we don't make it rigorous where you have to sign up and register and things. No, not at all. It's first come, first serve. Not only are we giving away toys to the kids and to the families, but we're also feeding. We do the public feeding, so we cook all day. We give homeless to those that are without home. I told myself that I would stop using that word, homelessness. But those that are without home, to the individuals that are in the streets, we give out blankets and socks, fresh socks. And these are things that we've been doing, like I say, close to 2 decades, man. And I'm so humbled to be in position to spearhead this, but without the company of other villagers, none of this would happen, man. So I definitely want to shout out to everyone that's behind the scenes that they don't get the notoriety or don't get the claim to show their face, not that they're looking for it, but definitely big shout out to everyone that helps out and chips in to make these events successful.
Yeah, it truly does take a village, as you mentioned, but you've, I'm sure, perfected this. It's been 2 decades, as you mentioned. So what have you been able to do to make sure that you are gifting what is so needed in the community? What did you end up learning over this time that people really appreciated in getting from these charity events?
For one, it takes a lot of, man, you have to swallow your pride, because when you're in position and to facilitate certain things, and it's only so much one individual can do. And so you have to swallow your pride and go ask other individuals, yo, would you be willing to help out? Would you be willing to contribute? And up until a year ago, we were all doing this just grassroots. Like, there was no nonprofit. There was none of those things. It was just all out of our own pocket. But I sat with one of my mentors, and he told me, I know that in your heart, you're genuinely doing this because of this is what a promise that you made to yourself and a promise that you made to your mother that you will continue to give back and help out. But I want to tell you this, when you incorporate these nonprofits and things like that, you go to certain corporations that don't mind giving you things because they have to give certain monies away. And it just helps it out. It makes it bigger because now you can help more people. But they just need it on paper. They just need it to document it. So those are the things that I learned. And I want to talk to all of the future philanthropists out there. Don't doubt the genuineness of your contributions back to the society based off if you're doing it through a nonprofit or if you're doing it through grassroots. I think that's one of the most mind-boggling things that we deal with is I don't want people to look at us like this. Do it as if you're incorporating to a nonprofit, you're getting a chance to help more because more people can get involved. And that's some word of advice that I would love to give to people, man. Do it like that so more people can get involved and you can get some sponsorships, some corporations, some grants, and however else. I'm still in the learning process of that level of it. But man, as long as we're in position to do so, I want to continue to keep giving back and keep inspiring other individuals to help build and rebuild our villages so they can get back to certain of the things that we remember as children growing up, man. Just a happy place.
That is really inspirational. What was childhood like in Oakland, and have you seen any sort of differences with these younger generations who are coming up in the area of Oakland? I know a lot of songs out there are talking about taking or, bipping. So what is your message to people who might be listening to that music and instead maybe you want to inspire them to give back as you do?
Well, we have to lead by example. There have always been distractions and things that have contributed to the negligence, just like there are things that contribute to the positivity. It's all about where we gear our focusness towards. Unfortunately, negativity gains a lot of our attention just based off the fact that it becomes entertainment. Some of these people that don't live in the world that we live in, they see our lifestyles as entertainment, not understanding the pitfalls of them. So they promote the negative, they promote the violence, they provoke the poverty. And these are the things that provoke the youngsters to want to involve themselves in that. Here it is, someone who has an influence must use that narrative as a way for them to force the youth and the next generation to look up to alternative role models. When we were growing up, all we looked up is to the people that did all the negative stuff. But in our eyes, those were the people that had the nice cars. Those were the people that had the nice clothes and the money and the girls. And when you're in poverty, when you live in apartments and the projects, your parents on Section 8, some of your parents on drugs, all you're looking at is the people that look like they got out of that. And so we just have to reinvent the role models. We have to reinvent the role models, whether it starts by the music that we make or the lifestyles that we continue to be advocates of, or just the examples of some of the similar things that many individuals where we come from are doing, opening up businesses, saying that, yeah, no, we're not doing that. We're not selling drugs no more. We're selling clothes, or we're selling sandwiches. We're selling juices, and we're just changing the narrative of being entrepreneurs and utilizing that to say, this is the new role model. This is what the kids should aspire to be.
And unfortunately, that can look attractive, as you mentioned, for these kids who are growing up and might not have seen a better example. So what was an example in your life that ended up changing the narrative for you?
I saw the same examples that everybody else did, but I had a loving mother. My mother was, her love for me was unwavering, and she was there committed to everything that I was doing. And that's a big thing in a lot of children's lives nowadays, to having that support system. When you don't have a solid support system, regardless of what your financial status may be, my support system was never based off the money. It was a unconditional love. My mother loved me and I loved her unconditionally. And she believed in my dreams, and she made room for her child to have an imagination. She made room for her child to dream. I think there are a lot of people nowadays, due to the fact of the proximity of age within the children and their parents is so close. A lot of people are having children so young that some of the parents are still young themselves, trying to figure themselves out. And they're not leaving their room for the children to grow. They're not leaving room for their children to dream. And they're unfortunately corrupting their children's innocence by allowing them to be exposed to the toxicities that set us back. And those are the things that we have to live. We have to leave children in a children's place. We have to still create that safe place for children. When we were growing up, there was a place called a children's place, a child's place. But nowadays, with the parents and the kids, we're all in the same place. We're all on Instagram. We're all on social media. We all dwell in the same spot. So they've totally eradicated the child's place. And in that, you abdicate from certain things that children can negate from. It's up to us to sit back and replenish a child's place and make it a safe place for children to just be children. As a parent, I allow my daughter to flourish in her imagination, and I support her dreams unadulteratedly. And that's something that I'm an advocate of for my fellow parents, for them to do the same. Don't corrupt your child's innocence.
And that's truly an important message. I'm lucky enough to say that I also came from a place like that in my own home, so very fortunate. And thank you for sharing so much about your own upbringing. What would you like other people to know who might feel a little bit shy about coming up to this event and, you know, admitting that maybe they need a little bit of help during the holidays?
Oh, this is a judge-free zone. Please, I encourage people to come out. This is a total judge-free zone. One of the biggest things with us is we're not with everybody waving the camera in your face like, look what I'm giving you. You're in this line and whatever, take it or leave it. Nah, man, we treating people like how we would want to be treated. You know, I think one of the biggest things about it is I waited in those lines. I went to the Mother Right lines, and these were things that when we were growing up in the community, we stayed in those free lunch lines. And it's very embarrassing to some people, because you don't want to be seen in that fashion. You don't want to be looked at as, oh, you doing so bad, you have to be that. But this is a judge-free zone. We are all, this is, just look at it as it's an extended family. Like I said, we've got this year, it's bikes on top of bikes that we're going to give to the kids. There are laptops, it's PS5s that we're going to raffle off. There's so many toys. It's like U-Hauls, a U-Haul full of toys that we're just going to give away, and children will be able to amounts of toys, man. So it's with us, man. It's just totally about, this is for the people. This is the villagers putting on for the village. This isn't anything about any outside entities that are trying to come in and capitalize off poverty for promotional sakes. We're not here for the headlines. We're here for the healing and dealing with each other as a people, as friends and family, and to make it a better place in our village. But it's December 23rd. We encourage all of you guys to come out. We have so many toys. There are going to be so many toys. And like I say, once again, everything is free. Team Give Back. My sister and I, we have been doing this for 17 years. And man, with the blessings of God, may we continue to keep doing it. And when we're done, may our children pick up from where we left off and keep it going, man, rebuilding the village.
And once again, the Toys for Joy Christmas Drive is this Thursday from noon to 6 at night at 4503 Market Street in Oakland. You can come out, as you just heard from Mistah FAB himself, and get the toys that you need for your kids, as well as some meals and some clothes, as well as blankets. So a lot that is going on at this event, all thanks to the partners that have helped you as well, and that you mentioned are behind the scenes that might not be getting that recognition, but as you mentioned, it does take a village. So thank you for all the work and organization that you've put behind all this, again, for the last nearly 2 decades. Mistah FAB, thanks for joining us here on KRON On.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.